All right, guys, we have crazy volatility in the market, and nobody knows what's going on in the world. All of this turmoil. Stock market is all-time high. Gold start dumping, and crypto, of course, in the toilet. So, welcome to the Zeus on Crypto. Let's jump on it and see what's going on. So, yeah, market cap 3.8 million, 3.8 trillion. Bitcoin sitting in $111,000. Ethereum is under 4K. Pretty much BNB still around all-time highs, plus minus 150, $300. Solana is cannot break up. $200 is pretty bad. Yeah, so that's the crypto bubbles for today for an hour. Somewhere neutral, but here's the gold. Gold dropped down from 4,300 to 39. Like we said, it started going down pretty much. We don't have a graph here. But NVIDIA going through the roof pretty much. Hit 5 trillion market cap, and I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. And what's the news for today in market? From Crypto Rover, so Fed interest rate cuts Wednesday, which is today. We just had the meeting. So Chair Powell press conference. So and Thursday, tomorrow, well, Trump meets with G. So expect volatility. It is volatility. It is huge volatility, actually. Yesterday, market being liquidated for a couple hundred millions. I'll show you guys that a little bit later. And today's it's been dumping and pumping same time. So yeah. After the meeting, pretty much Jerome Fed Powell lowered the interest rate by 25 basis points, which is, I'm sure many people not really happy about it because he's, no wonder Trump calling him Jerome too late Powell, because he should, economy is not stable, inflation's going up, and job reports is pretty bad. And he just, they just have a beef with each other, Trump and Jerome Powell. So it's kind of sucks for the environment, for the American economy, and just overall, whatever touches American economy touches world economy too, like you guys understand. So yeah, Trump says Powell will be fired in a few months. He'll announce new Fed chair by the end of 2025. New Fed chair, aggressive rates equals aggressive rate cuts. Bullish on news for Bitcoin and crypto. Yeah, that sounds about right. I I think Jerome Powell finished his term around May, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, what we're gonna have probably, uh, not probably, we're gonna have a guy who gonna get put by Trump. So whatever Trump gonna tell him, he gonna do it. So what he gonna do? He gonna print the money and he gonna cut the rates. And we do need to cut the rates as soon as possible because it's unstable for the fin for the finance market, and especially for the housing market and for the job market and overall economy. So yeah, that's the from Seb Monty. 'Cause I actually checked his channel. Pretty cool guy, talking a lot about Solana and just overall news. From him, most toxic relationship in the group that affects everyone. So yep, that's the Trump and Jay Powell. That's the reality. So, and here is the from Altcoin Daily, um, Dan Niles. Fed rate cut cycle and quantitative easing means this is for crypto and stock market. What it means, everybody's gonna win. So let's watch this video.
Everybody's going to win because you've got this easy money. You're going to get a rate cut, going to get quantitative tightening probably stopping. You'll get another rate cut on December 10th. You'll probably get another one to start next year in January. And then you're going to get a new Fed chairman in May that's going to want even more rate cuts. Right? So we've been through this scenario before in 2021. Inflation went from 1.4% to 7%, and the S&P was up 27%. And so you're in that same exact environment where everybody's going to win, enjoy the party as long as it lasts, and then prepare for a hangover sometime late next year.
Right. I was just looking at the last time the Fed cut, Dan, with inflation at these levels, October '08. Right. So how much are you worried about the other side of that mountain, as Tepper might say?
Oh, the other side of that mountain is going to be horrific. I mean, I believe that sometime late next year, you end up with a 30 to 50% correction in a lot of these AI related names. But it doesn't mean, Carl, that between now and then, these stocks can't go up another 25, 50% or more, because you've seen this same picture show in the late 90s. And back then, the Fed was actually raising rates, don't forget. And the market still ripped. NASDAQ was up 86% in 1999, and then it started 2000 up 24% in just over 2 months. Obviously, the hangover on the other side was terrible, but you made a lot of money just sort of staying with it as long as the government kept screwing up and making, as long as you had investors believing everybody's going to win, everybody.
So yeah, what he's saying pretty much, if we're gonna have a quantitative easing, which is they're gonna cut the rates and gonna start printing. That's what happened in 2000 and 2020. All markets start pumping hard, and especially crypto market and stock market too, and houses went through the roof pricing. But then don't forget, Fed cut rate through the almost, it was 0% financing, which is crazy. Of course, banks have their couple percent, so but you can pretty much finance the house for the 2.75%, which is haven't been that forever, but now we are sitting at a high rate. So I don't know if they're gonna. It's no way they're gonna go through the zero, unless we're gonna go completely through the hell. So that's the reality. So from Nathan Giffey, Justin Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent named 5 finalists to replace Fed chair, and final decision expected before year end. So yeah, apparently they're looking for the people who gonna replace Fed. I'm sure it's gonna be some, not puppet, but some guy who's gonna follow the Trump order, and Scott Bessent and other people, and Howard Lutnick. Scott Bessent says he's executing President Trump plan to make United States Bitcoin superpower of the world. So yeah, we'll see. We're just tired of winning. Thanks, Mr. President, right? Everybody losing so much money, everybody getting liquidated, people get shot. So it's kind of sad. So, but that's the reality. We'll see. Maybe we're gonna have extended cycle. Maybe we don't. I believe we still have a time for the extended cycle, maybe by Q1, Q2, 2026. But like I said, nobody knows. Everybody's just speculating. And just be safe, everybody. Don't trade. You buy the spot and just hold crypto stocks and other stuff. So yeah, you never know. We might gonna have a short bear market, maybe 6-12 months, not like before. Maybe not gonna dump within 40, 60, 70%. We might gonna dump still 30, 40%. I believe Bitcoin might go all the way till 200,000 and may retrace. Usually in a history, actually, Bitcoin never go below previous election cycles. So pretty much, if we're gonna follow the cycles, my Bitcoin gonna go to the 200,000 and gonna retrace up to the when Trump got elected. It was $75,000 was Bitcoin at that time. So I think we might go down all the way till $75,000, maybe 70. Well, that's the speculation pretty much. So That's what I think will be my bear market. But then with the adoption, with the institutional adoption, it's not going to be that steep of the drops too, you know. I'm sure altcoin's gonna go to shit, that's for sure. But Bitcoin, it's too big of an asset to drop hard. But it's still volatility will be. So apparently, for the world news, it's a Eritrean president saying, I'm not gonna play the video, but I'm just gonna state it from Simply Bitcoin. They're printing money. They're not manufacturing anything at all. This has been one of their weapons globally, monetary system. We need a new financial architecture globally, not controlled by the dollar. So yeah, pretty much BRICS or China and Russia, they want to make their own money, their own CBDC, like backed by gold or backed by their own money. But I don't think it's gonna work, and I'm sure it's not gonna work. So pretty much, Eritrean president stated that we need something else, alternative. Well, what is alternative? We all know here on this channel, right? What kind of alternative we're looking for. So yeah, and from world news, China, from world news drama, China officially announced that Petroyuan deal with Arab states in currency instead of petrodollar agreements. China also invited all BRICS countries to use cross-border interbank payments system CIPS to hold up progress of the dollar. That's exactly what I'm telling you guys. They want to put all of that Petro Yuan. Nobody gives a shit about those money or even dollars nowadays. I mean, dollar is still strongest money in the world, but if we're gonna have some asset, it's not gonna be no more petrodollar or petrobrick money, whatever it is. But I think it's gonna be backed by Bitcoin. And countries, I guess, already start agreeing to deal with the Bitcoin because nobody, that SWIFT system, it's an old ass system, and it's such a pain in the ass. Same as the bank system, it's all in the past. It's all past centuries. So we're here for the new adoption. Adoption is a blockchain and crypto. So yeah, here's the drama keep going on breaking. Trump says his meeting with G is gonna be great for everybody. Are you ready? Yep. We're tired of the winning, Mr. President. And again, breaking news, China says US economy is dead without a fair trade deal with it. And that's the funny part from George from Crypto or Us. That's the crypto bros over here, trending on the poly market. How long will Trump and G shake hand on Thursday? So yeah, that's our degens from crypto world. You can bet pretty much that for no handshake, 2%, 2% for 2 seconds, 2 to 6%, 31 seconds, and 6 to 10 seconds will be 50%, and 10 plus seconds will be 22%. Well, I believe so. It's going to be 50 to 22% over here, 6 to 10 seconds or 10 plus seconds. That's the Trump famous for it, right? So yeah, a little bit fun stuff. And this is from yesterday. Actually, what do we talk about volatility? So it was past 60 minutes, which is, it was yesterday at 2 p.m. around midday. Over 200 million worth of crypto was liquidated, including 145 longs, with the largest single order being 6.31 BTC long. It's crazy. Somebody got liquidated for that much amount of money. Keep in mind, this is data refreshing every 15 seconds. So yeah, even when you guys watch, it's already going to be old. So much volatility. And this is from today, from Kyle Chassis. It's already today, exactly actually at midday too, 1:30 p.m. 120 million in ETH longs were liquidated in the past 24 hours. So Yeah, that's the reality of the trading. People got liquidated on left and right, so it's very dangerous, especially you play high leverage. So, and this is actually really good news. Everybody knows what is Western Union, and it's pretty much a most global money transfer system in the world. And guess what they do? They adapt in the Solana, which is, I do like Solana. I think it's a good protocol and one of my favorites. We'll talk about it eventually. So let's listen to that.
So for 175 years, we've been connecting people with technology, and we've been using that technology to move money. This is the next evolution, moving to digital assets and the ability to move money seamlessly, cost effectively, and rapidly everywhere around the world, using the infrastructure and the scale we already have with modern blockchain technology. We think this is the next evolution, not just in our history, but in how remittances happen around the world. If you're Western Union and you're already moving $100 billion a year across borders, picking a partner that does exactly that, fast, efficient, stable, and secure, is really, really important. And so we went and looked at most of the other alternatives and came to the conclusion for an institutional use case like ours, the Solana blockchain was the right choice for us. So for 175 years,
Yeah, so they choose the Solana blockchain to transfer stable coins. Of course, I remember many years ago, I've been sending money overseas. You send in pretty much $100 and they like charge you for 10, 15% of the money, which is ridiculous. And a lot of, like people work in America and they send in money back home to the Europe, to the Asia, to the Latin America, and many people don't make that much money, and they send in to their family. They're working here in the United States and sending feeding the family, wives and kids back home in Latin countries or somewhere else. They cannot afford much money, but can you imagine paying 10%, 10, 15% fees? That's outrageous. So here is the crypto world here. I'm pretty much do a lot of transactions on Solana, and if you know what is Solana protocol and, for example, Phantom Wallet, you can send any amount of money for the fraction of the penny. I think it's like 0.4 zeros and 1 Solana, so it's like less than the 100 of the penny, which is crazy. So it depends, of course, of the how clogged the network, but it's always super cheap. It's like Ethereum and all other layer twos not even close to the Solana blockchain. So that's the reality. So, and yeah, Western Union adopting the Solana, and all of those XRP people saying that they're gonna adopt that, and banks gonna adopt XRP. But yeah, whatever. We can see what's going on here. So S&P 500 closes highest candle in history, which is 6,900 almost. It was yesterday around noon. And today actually was a lot of earnings. Nvidia earnings pumping so hard. And I think Meta was dropping from 700 something to 600 something, almost $100 difference, which is crazy. That's not even crypto, that's the traditional market, stock market world. So yeah, from Ash Crypto, US stocks are given highest daily close in history, while Bitcoin is struggling to break 116,000. Yeah, which is with today already 111. Crypto prices are being heavily suppressed by market manipulation and leverage. Cartels are liquidating both longs and shorts, making money on both sides, with US stocks exploding to the new heights and gold topping. I think this is just calm before the storm and before the massive breakout. They can hold it down for much longer. The liquidity flow with rate cuts, quantitative tightening ending, and money rotation from gold will be massive. So Bitcoin 150, 180 to November, December, and ETH 75 to 12K, November, January. Yeah, I don't know about ETH, but I can see Bitcoin topping around 150, 180. That's the realistic price from Marilyn the Trader. Bitcoin's final chapter is written. Q4 2025, Q1 2026 will melt minds. This is the climax of the cycle. Is not if, it's how high. Don't forget the goal. Freedom is taken, not fantasized. Position right, exit wise. So everybody's talking about apparently extended cycle. Everybody think it's gonna be Q4, Q1. Well, if we're gonna pretty much top up already, it'll be, sounds about right. It's gonna be, we're gonna get in the right cycle. But if it's gonna extend it till next year, maybe the cycles, all of the cycles, crypto cycles not exist no more. It's break the trajectory. So we'll see how it's gonna work out. It's gonna be very interesting for the next 2 to 4 months to see the sentiment in the market. But usually it's after some time, gold topping up, all-time highs, and start dropping down. That's when Bitcoin start ripping up, and then altcoins follows. From Morales, Bitcoin will peak next to 3 months, likely range 160, 180. We're still early. Yeah, pretty much same prediction, similar graphs. So yeah, pretty much from what's the bottom of our cycle was 15 grand, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we went quite a long way. We've already been for many months over the $100,000. So yeah, if we're gonna toppen up from 150 to 200,000, that would be actually cool. We need to see what's going on with Bitcoin, what's going on with sentiment of the world, and of course Trump tweets. TA or technical analysis already doesn't work. Our TA, it's a Trump tweet and post. That's the TA right now. Long consolidation, then breakout from crypto over 7 months, 8 months, and here we go, 11 months, which is scary kind of. We have 11 months consolidation. We'll see if we're gonna break up or break down. Yep, all speculation. None of this financial advice from any of those people and from me. Altcoins just formed golden cross every time it led to the alt season. Buy altcoins now. Yeah, I don't know about buy, but thank me in December. Okay, Wimar, so we'll see. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe just we should watch and enjoy the ride. So yeah, but the gold, and then another thing, golden cross not works all the time. It's not 100% of the time. Golden cross or death cross is 2 types of the crosses works. So we'll see. I think it works 70% of the time. I'm not sure. I'm not gonna state that. So Marilyn the Trader, rumor in the streets that Tom Lee and Michael Saylor are set to meet with the U.S. Senate to push the market structure bill forward. Wall Street and Washington are finally aligning policies about to meet capital. Yeah, like we all know, Tom Lee's here. He's a representative of the Ethereum. He's pretty much buying all Ethereum. So he's following the steps of Michael Saylor. That's the OG of the Bitcoin. Pretty much I call him godfather of Bitcoin. And he's the one who put on MicroStrategy on his company asset Bitcoin. He's keep buying Bitcoin and selling stocks and buying again more and more as a collateral. So yeah, his company becoming one of the most successful company pretty much ever exist from the Bitcoin price and appreciation, of course. And here is the Vivek Ramaswamy. He's a candidate, I think, for the president before. Let's listen. His view on Bitcoin. Let's listen. It's actually a very interesting take from Next Layer Capital.
Bitcoin, though, is deeper than that. It is an opt-out from the broken financial architecture created by the U.S. Federal Reserve System. And I say this as somebody who wants to fight for, if I'm the U.S. president, I want to fight for the dollar to remain the reserve currency of the world. But there's a funny thing that happens. There's two ways of doing that. One is if you're really insecure about your own value proposition, you try to smash out the competition. Well, the fact that the government officials are coming for alternative forms of currency the way they are, Bitcoin included, reflects an insecurity in their own value proposition. I look at it the other way. I think the existence of Bitcoin holds the dollar's feet to the fire to make sure that it can't be manipulated in a way that people don't just opt out and go the other direction. Because if they do have that opt out, that's what actually keeps us on our own toes. And so I love the idea, the alluring vision, and is why I was first drawn to it, certainly, of a total opt out. Code is law, a Wild West jungle that completely opts out of the Byzantine government captured, government orchestrated corruption in the existing system. And I think that remains the promise as long as the proponents of it are willing to stick to that vision, as I do. And so we can get into a deeper conversation there, but the original promise was an opt-out, a backstop, an actual competitive outlet to say that if the existing architecture itself, the rails are broken, we're going to build new rails with a fixed supply. So now nobody can print more artificial snow like the current Federal Reserve does. No skiing on artificial snow. You're skiing on a fixed supply of the real thing. Great. I think it's a beautiful system. And the fact that there's an anaphylactic response from the existing incumbents shows you that they're insecure. In this case, that incumbent is the Federal Reserve, is insecure in its own value proposition. And so I, for one, as the leader of the executive branch, if I'm elected president, embrace that competition because it actually holds our own feet to the fire.
Well, the basis of capitalism is savings, having capital to then be able to invest. So a lot of people in the community who are Bitcoiners, they see it as the ultimate savings technology. So do you believe that the average American should start to accumulate Bitcoin? And if president, what would you do to help assimilate it into a global financial system that at times seems to resist a technology like this?
So yeah, he's pretty much explaining to embrace the Bitcoin and to not be scared to adopt it by the governments, We've been hitting by banks, by the regulators of the world, especially of the in the previous cycle, in the previous governments. They want to get rid of the Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, like a cockroach, is pretty much spread out and you cannot catch it. So, and now what you can do, you cannot fight. You have to embrace, pretty much swallow the yellow pill. Well, that's the reality. And Trump used to hate Bitcoin and he was promoting dollar, but then apparently it was a previous election. I remember he was talking how bad is Bitcoin and dollar is the most important thing ever. And number one asset, not asset, number one money in the world. But then eventually, apparently this election, and when he got chosen, he had probably some smart individuals behind him, and they explained him what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, and I guess he revised his vision, and now they're adapting crypto and Bitcoin, which is, it's really, really nice for us, And Vivek over here telling all of us guys we should listen, start saving into Bitcoin. It's never too late. So from Merlin the Trader, a massive move. JP Morgan is about to accept BTC ETH as a collateral for institutional loans. The Wall Street gatekeepers just opened the crypto door. This is how mainstream adoption begins. That's actually, from my last video, I was driving in the car, I was explaining to you guys that probably in the future, we're gonna be able to deposit the Bitcoin or Ethereum, like here. I don't know about Ethereum, but Bitcoin, that's the right choice. And we can take the money, collateral, and live on that, or just whatever use that for. And it's probably going to be lower percentage, not like in the credit cards. You have 20-30%, which is outrageous. That's how banks are becoming the rich for the last century. So, but yeah, that's the new world. We can take collateral as through the Bitcoin, accept the Bitcoin, and pretty much your money is always going to be depreciating. You take in depreciating money and you put the appreciating asset, and you can pretty much pay minimum and still live and have your Bitcoin. Well, that's the reality. So that's why we should collect and save the Bitcoin, not money and not other assets. So, but none of this financial advice. That's just some dude on the internet. And yeah, you have your own choice and your own decision to make and think, And a couple more interesting news that U.S. Treasury just bought back $2 trillion as a T of its own debt dollars. So yeah, they start buying back their treasuries. So buying back treasuries, then quantitative easing, then start printing the money. So it all looks towards the good times that they're gonna spend a lot of money for people and for the assets. So all assets should usually pump in, like houses, crypto, stocks, and gold and silver and other pretty much assets. So yeah, that's what they're doing with the quantitative easing. That's what exactly happened in 2020, and when they have a huge pump from 2020 to 2022 to 2021. Yeah, so we'll see. It should be either by now, next 4 months, or maybe it's not gonna happen. And before I go, I like that stuff. Carl Menger. So a 13-year-old price structure for StarCraft tournament, and I can stop laughing. Victory isn't instant. Patience is the price of the glory. So yeah, when I was a kid, we were playing actually Counter-Strike and StarCraft, and when you had like a game competition, it was prizes. First place $500, second $250, third $150, and fourth 100, and fifth to eighth was 25 Bitcoins. Can you believe this, guys? So yeah, 13 years ago. If you you don't need to be first one, you can be fifth to eighth and have 25 Bitcoins. Hopefully you lose that and find it right now. That will be it'll make your future, So that's the retirement right here. That's a huge retirement. Yeah. So that's all I have for today, guys. We gonna keep going and look what's going on. It's gonna be huge volatility week with all of the earnings, with all of the Trump G talks, and hopefully we'll gonna get the bull market start, and we're gonna make so much money, or just gonna keep investing and just gonna look forward to our future and just be patient. Don't rush, don't gamble, just DCAing. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. You have a good one. Zeus out.